I said, they just made more plays. Both teams have felt like this was a game that was going to be a lot of possessions. The pace that this game was played at, it felt like both teams just kept going on mini runs and the other team would respond. And so, even we
give me a hell yeah.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo.
I'm fixing it, Mo.
I can fix it.
You weren't in studio last night.
I know.
It changes
Ew.
things up.
My TV makeup looks like I look like a raccoon.
What is up? Happy Wednesday night. Welcome in, Deuce and Mo. We are live for Night Chat.
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Thanks.
Let's go, Kane.
Oh, a tough way to lose. Starting that 5-game homestand tonight. Morgan makes the camera blurry. Now it's good. Man.
Boo.
Man. That was a tough one, Morgan.
Boo. Boo.
You know the Kings missed 8 shots in the paint in the first quarter? It's amazing. Looks in the paint to start this game. How's everybody doing? Being at Golden One Center for the last few hours, I have no grasp on how the storm was.
Yeah.
Was it? I heard the wind was really bad. Was it really nasty out, or was it not as bad as maybe they thought? Which is great. People get so upset, weather people sometimes. You said it was going to be bad, and it wasn't. It's like, no, that's a good thing. Yeah. It's good that like trees aren't falling down and things aren't flooding. Like that's a positive. I'm glad. I'm happy that maybe they were wrong. I'd rather have the warnings out than anything.
You said I was supposed to die. Well, you didn't. So are you mad, happy? What's it going to be, huh?
Yeah, we can't be mad.
You can. But, don't be.
Yeah, I'd rather be prepared. And there's people dealing with flooding,
Yeah.
for the last couple of days with these levees and stuff. Thinking about all those people.
Yeah, I mean, I was pushing leaves and sticks out of the little gutter parts. And I was like, oh, I'm preparing for this one. And again,
I was cleaning gutters today.
I would rather do all of this
Yeah.
than not be prepared.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm already on edge.
But I heard it was super windy at times. I know online there was wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour.
Oh,
So.
well, glad. I hope everyone's okay out there.
Man. That was a tough one, Mo.
Yeah.
It just, I hate losing.
I know.
It's not fun.
It's not, but that was it all happened right there at the end.
And yes, it did. It did.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
The final score is what happened.
It just, I think what hurt so bad about tonight's game is they really didn't play great basketball tonight, but they kept the game close. And you're like, God, if they can just go on a nice run here, and then at the end of the game they go on this little run, you're thinking,
oh my God,
okay, they escape. Woo! Second half of back-to-backs are tough, man, but you escape.
they did it again.
Sabonis missed 2 free throws after they were perfect all night from the free throw line. Then Fox got stripped by DeJounte Murray.
It was bad after bad. Should we just go into it?
Yeah, second half of back-to-back. Yeah, hey, chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks to people on Twitch. What's up, Carlos in the house? We got more now. Sack Kings fan. Jose is here with Torch. Ragnarok is here. Bad News, Sour Grapes. Nick. We got Brick in the building with Tin and Scotty C. We got Joe. We got Ty Guy, Frankly, Floyd, and Vaughn. Mark Hamilton and Felix, who, of course,
Shows up.
was he here last night?
No.
Well, he's not here in the live chat.
Interesting.
He says, y'all notice Fox never does post-game interviews after a loss, only wins.
Because they're not supposed to come. He was
That's
supposed to
not-
literally be next to us in a post-game interview.
Also, like, they have the PR people bring guys out. Like, they bring two guys out to the podium, and then the locker room is open to a select amount of people, and then they can go in and talk to the players.
No, Felix is right. It's definitely De'Aaron Fox avoiding all media at all costs.
Felix, get a life.
It's just
like
not the
De'Aaron
night,
has
man.
De'Aaron's never talked to the media after a loss. Never. You've never seen it in your whole life. You haven't seen it this year. Dude, just because it doesn't air on TV doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Goodbye,
Pay
Felix.
attention.
Not doing that. No.
But Felix, I was going to try to give you a shout out. God. What's up, Jesse James and Scotty? I mentioned him already. And Jose. All right. If you're in the chat, the biggest thing you can do is hit the thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. If you're ready, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk to people on Discord and Twitch too, if you guys want, or on Discord and Twitter Spaces if you want to. Let's get started. Deuce and Mo coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this late on a Wednesday night as the Kings started a 5-game homestand. First up was the Atlanta Hawks. And the Hawks came to town and escaped with a win, 120 to 117. Some big mistakes down the stretch for the Sacramento Kings, and they weren't really sharp at times in this back-to-back. They fall short 120 to 117. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm fine. I'm just like, you know what? It's one of those nights, too, where I was trying to do a post game just immediately after, right? On NBC Sports. And my emotions had just gone from high to low. But then there was Kings fans behind me going, hey, we got the next one. Like, they were making me feel so much better. But I still don't feel great.
It was just a wild game, and the finish down the stretch made it almost more painful. I mean, think about the last 5 minutes of this game. 5 minutes of the game is usually crunch time in the NBA. That's the officials' under 5, close game, crunch time. It's tied at 104. Fox ties it at the 5:21 mark. The response by the Hawks was crazy. Bogey hits a 3. Hunter hits a jumper off after a DeAndre Hunter steal. Then Fox misses a layup. Collins has a layup. And all of a sudden, after being tied at 104, it's 111-104 with 3:50 to go. And at that moment, you're like,
Game over.
all right, that was tough. That was tough. And then, boom, out of the timeout, what happens? Kevin Huerter hits a 3. All right, down to 4.
Feeling good.
Collins misses a shot. HB scores. It's a 2-point game. Okay, here's DeJounte Murray answering. It's 113-109 with 2:12 to play, and it's getting crazy here, right? And then we had probably the dunk of the year from De'Aaron Fox. It's called by Jason Ross, filling in for the G-Man.
Still enough time, Jay. They got to get there. De'Aaron Fox to the basket.
Oh, Fox! No, he didn't. Yes, he did. He caught a body, went right through the teeth of the defense, and jammed it in the face of Okongwu. Oh, mercy.
That made it 113-111 with A minute 59 to go. Then Trae Young turnover. And then what happened?
High screen set by Sabonis. Huerter pops out. Huerter left open. 3 for the lead. Give it to him. It's good. Sacramento up 114, 113. The ex-Hawk has dropped 24 on his former team.
Red Velvet is in the building, baby.
90 seconds left. Trae Young, quick 3 for the answer. Rebound to Huerter. Oh, the comeback Kings are up to it again.
It's 114, 113 with a minute 37 to go. How good are you feeling in that moment, Morgan?
Pretty freaking good.
114, 113. Fox running float game. Good and one. The deuce and the damage for Fox. Sacramento has matched their largest lead of the game.
Oh.
And fourth quarter, D has the vest on his chest. Let's go, De'Aaron.
116, 113. As a reminder, we were at the timeout with 3:50 to go. The Kings were down 111 and 104.
Fox makes the free throw. They're up 4 with a minute 16 to go. 117 to 113. A 4-point lead is not crazy in the situation. But, all right, you take care of business. You've got a chance here. Young goes down, layup and one, cuts it to 1. Then Sabonis gets fouled, goes to the line with a 1-point game.
Heartbreaker.
Sabonis missed 2 free throws.
That second one in and out.
It just hurts. And then there was a play where Mike Brown challenged. The Kings won the challenge, but the Hawks still had the ball. Murray goes to the line, hits 2. Hawks back up. And then this play.
Handles gets the screen from the rookie Keegan Murray. De'Aaron looking to create. Oh, reach in by Murray. He picked his pocket. Murray's going the other way. DeJounte pushes off. No foul called. Basket is good. Sacramento down 3 with 16.9 to go. Coach Brown is livid. I think it was a clean pick by Murray, but they wanted a push off on the other end of the floor.
It was 121-17, and that ends up being the final score.
Yeah, and even that last possession for the Kings, it was like, were you trying to get a quick 2? Because it wasn't quick enough even trying to get that quick 2. It should have been a play either for a De'Aaron quick 2 or straight up 3, go for the dagger.
Of course, those plays we just referenced, your 2 best players who I thought were really good tonight, Sabonis and Fox. Sabonis misses the 2 free throws, and Fox gets picked by DeJounte Murray.
Yep.
Takes it strong to the basket. Fox tried to sell the contact. There was some contact there. Murray did lower the shoulder a bit. Fox tried to sell it, no call. That gets magnified, but really, to me, it's the start of this game. It's how many shots the Kings missed at the rim early. And then it goes to defense, where I thought the Hawks, and this is another team where you watch them and go, wow, they've got a lot of players that if this team is healthy and if this team stays together, they should be good. They shouldn't be below 500. DeAndre Hunter was great tonight. Straight line drives to the basket. Collins was big with a monster 20-12 game. You had Trae Young, who did some great things out there, and Murray, and then Bogey off the bench.
17 for him.
It was too easy defensively. They had so many defensive breakdowns tonight.
That was it. And it seemed like possession after possession that the Hawks were converting on the offensive end, right? It just felt like the Kings couldn't get a stop. There's too many times there was dysfunction happening with the rotations, with the way that they were putting perimeter pressure on guys. The effort was there. It just wasn't being executed at all tonight on so many different levels. And Mike Brown even went to his second unit, didn't get the production he wanted from some of those guys, and it was a short leash for them.
The scoring was better than last night. They still weren't very productive, though. I thought the one guy off the bench that really did the best he could defensively was Davion Mitchell again, who, last night against the Jazz, there's a possession late in the third quarter where he literally defended all 5 Utah Jazz players on the floor and then got the rebound. And tonight, dude, he was getting into DeJounte Murray. He was trying to make life tough on Trae Young. He got switched on DeAndre Hunter. And unfortunately, because Davion is 6 foot, DeAndre Hunter, even if you make it hard on him, he could still shoot it over you. And that's what's challenging when your best defensive player is also 6 foot. He plays bigger than that. He can defend bigger guys, but some of these guys are going to be able to get buckets. And I think the Kings have a lot of deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball at this point with how the roster is currently constructed. Like they're going to compete, and if some nights they're locked in, they rotate, play some good team defense, they could be solid. But this is, at best, an average defensive team, if not a below average defensive team.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not something we're talking about after so many wins or after a win. We've talked about the flaws.
Yeah.
You know, I think in an exciting win, sometimes it's hard to just focus on the flaws because usually you're focused on the will to win at the end of a game, the response, the runs, you know, all the good in that. But then in games like this, you can talk about the good. Sabonis with another double-double, and I know we'll get to that, but the runs at the end of the game and the fight, the battle back. But what got you to that point in the first place and having to battle and having to come back was because of all the mistakes and the flaws that you are seeing now with the roster.
Yeah, and I think some of the defensive mistakes, too, are just mental miscues, and I'm like, it could be mental fatigue. I mean, they did play last night
for sure
in Utah. Second half back-to-back, by the way. Every team in the league plays back-to-backs. These aren't excuses. I'm just bringing up facts. I mean, I thought at times tonight Fox looked like, oh, God, I am tired. And it's like, well, yeah, he played 38 minutes last night. Next night he's playing 37 minutes. He played a close game. The pace was really high in this game tonight. I thought one of my takeaways from the game, one, it always sucks to lose. We know this.
Yep.
Especially at home. The Kings really didn't play well tonight.
Yeah.
With the defensive breakdown, some of the missed shots at the rim, they only hit 10 of 25 from 3. They want to take 43s a game, and they still had a chance to win this game. And I'm not saying moral victory or anything like that, but I'm like, okay, like you weren't great. You put a great effort in the second night of a back-to-back. Now you get a few days off. Now you just need to win that Lakers game. You got to take, like clean it up. Clean up the things you made mistakes on tonight. Maybe you knock down some more shots. Even the missed free throws by Sabonis at the end, I'm like, look, it sucks because it happened at the end of the game. Had he missed those 2 in the first quarter and we're not talking about it, It sucks. But I'm like, the guy also was 20 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 of 13 shooting, and those were his only 2 missed free throws of the game.
15th consecutive double-double for Domantas Sabonis, which ties the Sacramento Kings record, DeMarcus Cousins' 2013-14 season, I believe, of 15. So, he gets one more game with a double-double. He's the leader in that. But, when he's putting together so many games, well, he's playing well consistently in so many different games. It's bound to happen. That mistake, missing 2 big free throws at the end, it's bound to happen. You can get pissed off about it. Some people might be like, trade Domantas Sabonis. Others might hate him now. But the thing is, they're human. They're basketball players.
Dude,
these things are bound to happen. It just sucks.
The Hawks, I saw a stat today about the Hawks that was really interesting. A couple. When Trae Young shoots over 50% in the game, they are 6-0 now.
6-0. I use that stat.
They are 9-18 when he does not. He was 7 for 12 tonight with 21 points. He had 6 assists. He did have 5 turnovers. The other thing that was interesting is when their starting 5s in there with Capella this season, it's only been 17 games. They are 12-5. They're starting to get healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Hunter's been back for a little bit now. Bogey's back in the fold. And I'm looking at this roster going, they're better than this. Now, can they get through the dysfunction that they've had with the Trae Young stuff? Collins
behind the scenes.
The front office is a mess at this point, right? Travis Schlank's no longer involved there. You've got the Trae Young, the Nate McMillan stuff. Collins has been talked about being traded for the last 2 years. The talent is there. And, you saw it tonight. I mean, this team is long. And it's another example of, well, what do you know? A team that's really long, athletic, giving the Kings some problems.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The the mismatch, right? Or the matchup, I guess you can say, for the Kings and the difficulties that they face. When I was talking to Kenny before the game, trying to make him make a prediction about the homestand, and he mentioned the Orlando Magic because of their length, and that would be the game that he could see the Kings losing. And it's so true. When you look at teams around the NBA and they have that special big, or they have a team of just long players, that's where you know you're going to really face some of those problems. That's where you saw it again tonight. But also, Trae Young, talk about a guy that just knows how to get to certain spots on the floor, gets shifty. You have to put so much pressure on him you have to pay so much attention to him that sometimes you saw so much of the weakness on ball watching and coming over to help, and just those little fundamental things were just not sharp tonight.
Especially when they're running pick and rolls, right? And Sabonis is involved in that. He's coming out, and the Kings don't have any rim protection. They're not long.
Yeah.
The Kings did have more points in the paint tonight than the Hawks, but don't get it twisted. The Kings lost the points in the paint battle. Listen to this number. It was 60-56 Kings. The Hawks in the paint were 28 for 35.
Oh, jeez.
The Kings, 30 for 56.
Morgan,
they missed 26 shots in the paint. Yeah. Again, that's definitely length, but I thought especially in the first few minutes of the first quarter, they had gimmies they missed. I mean, you had Barnes on a fast break layup that, to be honest, should have dished it to Fox for a jam or something. Sabonis missed inside. I think Keegan missed one inside. Fox missed one inside. I mean, that's insane. 30 for 56 inside the paint?
Yeah.
And then the Hawks go 28 of 35. You're just not going to win many games. So that when you bring that up, you expect the Kings to be down by 20 in that game, and it's kind of crazy that they were in this with those numbers.
That's exactly it. And I think you see the way that they were playing too. So you look at some of those numbers, you see the way that they were playing. It just wasn't sharp. It wasn't being executed on either end of the floor. And then you look at their starting lineup, and 4 of the 5 guys scored 20 plus points, right?
Hey, so the Kings.
No, that's what I'm talking about with the Kings.
I'm sorry, the Hawks did too, though.
That's actually really funny. No, and I was actually talking about, wow, that's really identical. The one guy for both their squad in that starting lineup both scored 8, Keegan Murray and Okongwu. But for the Kings, though, when they've had nights like that, that's usually when, okay, things are flowing, things are looking good. It never truly felt like that.
Yeah, the only time it felt like they had something really going is when they made that run with like 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Other than that, it was like, okay, they score a couple times. They're within 4 or 2, and then straight line drive score, 3-ball score. And you're like, God, it's back to 7 again? Like, what the hell? And that's what's wild about this game. The biggest lead the Hawks had in this game was 9, but at times you're like, God, it just feels like 15. It feels like the Kings can't get a stop, and there's good reason. I mean, again, 28 for 35 inside the paint for the Hawks tonight for 56 points. That hurts. On the night, the Hawks ended up shooting 53%. They were 10 of 30 from 3. The Kings shot 46%, 10 of 25 from 3, 25 of 27 from the free throw line. 11 turnovers, not terrible. Turned into 16 points, though. And then for the Hawks, they had 16 turnovers. The Kings were only able to muster 16 points out of those 16 turnovers. Kings didn't get crushed rebounding. In fact, they had more offensive rebounds than the Hawks tonight. They lost their rebounding advantage overall 44-42. And second chance points, it was 10-9. So that's not insane at all. DeAndre Hunter, 22 points, 8 rebounds. Collins had 22 and 12. You had 21 for Murray on 8 of 17, 21 for Trae Young. For the Kings, you mentioned the 4 guys with 20 or more. That include Harrison Barnes, who had 22 points on 7 of 15, but 2 of 7 from 3. Sabonis had 20, 14, and 8. Kevin Huerter against his former team, 24 points. He had 5 assists on 4 of 9 from 3. And Fox had 25, 5 and 5. On 9 of 20, he was 7 of 7 from the line tonight. And only took 1 3.
And I love to see that. And actually, before I want to say one thing about Harrison Barnes, but before I say that, with De'Aaron, Will Z put out a stat about De'Aaron Fox dunk watch. And so tonight was his 15th dunk of the season in 34 games. Last season, he had 14 in 59
Wow.
games. So it's cool to see him getting up, going to the rim with authority. But going back to Harrison Barnes, those threes in last night's game against the Jazz, he was hitting early, right? He was getting that momentum. Those were flying. The pace was going, and he was hitting a lot of those transition threes. Tonight, they weren't falling right away. So then he started doing a good job, though, of taking it to the paint, being aggressive still. You know, I love seeing when he finishes a game with 22 points, but he was like needed in so many different categories, even though he still got his rebounds and everything as well.
God, the points in the paint thing bugs me. I mean, you missed 26 shots in the paint. That's insane. I mean,
It's
in a 3-point game.
right.
And it's not like you went, oh, hey, the Hawks had 17 blocks tonight. That wasn't the case, you know. I think on the night they finished with 4 blocks, and I thought the Kings, if anything, need to run more pick and rolls, and they needed to keep forcing it inside because they really didn't have an answer, especially when Okongwu picks up his 5th foul. They go with Collins, and Sabonis is like, time to eat. And the Kings just weren't able to take advantage. They had some great opportunities in this one. So you could point to the missed free throw by Sabonis, the 2 missed free throws, and Fox getting picked. But I think when you take a step back and just look at some of those numbers, you go, oh, there's where he lost the game tonight. And I just don't expect the Kings to be that inefficient inside. Defensively, you know, these are things that I think they're just going to run into this year because of the roster. I think on a highlight note, I thought Keegan, again, with some nice defensive plays. He had that block on Trae Young. That was fantastic. And had another one on Collins. I didn't get a clean angle on the replay. Kings don't usually show replays when the other team's upset about it. But it was obviously, it pissed off Nate McMillan and Trae Young because both got a technical after that. So maybe Keegan did foul him on that. Either way, it looked like he knocked that ball away. Keegan Murray was credited with 2 blocks in this game.
Is that a strategy thing that they just don't show it? So then it's like, no one has to know kind of thing. Like they have to do their own work.
Yeah. One, I think it's for sure a strategy thing. I hate it just from the standpoint. I just want to know.
It,
but
yeah.
like, it's like, no, we don't want to show the fans, and we definitely don't want to see them to do it, to challenge it. But also nowadays, like every coaching staff their second row coaches have the game on in front of them. They're rewinding. That's why you see a lot of time when Mike Brown's thinking about challenging, he looks at the bench and Jordy's talking to the guys in second row going, do we need to challenge it? Yes or no? They're reviewing it quickly to give Brown the signal or wave him off saying don't challenge it. And so that's what a lot of teams do.
I liked where Mike Brown saved his challenge for even that foul.
That's
with
when you
Trae
do
Young.
it late in the game. And that was a great challenge, I thought. Unfortunately, it was like, all right, they scored anyway.
Yeah, Hawks ball anyway after that, you know, but and then scored off of it. But still, it was one of those times where I'm like, oh, glad you actually have the challenge. Sometimes it's just like a energy kind of filler, and you felt it in the building when it was a successful challenge. Yeah,
this game, it's one of those games you feel like you make a couple more shots inside the paint, you probably win, even with some bad defense tonight.
Yeah, a couple more shots in the paint, but also getting a couple more stops on the defensive. Just the Hawks sometimes made it look too simple.
Oh, way too simple. But again, that's their size advantage. And
Absolutely.
Keegan isn't 100% like ready, like as a rookie, to stay with certain guys.
Fair.
Barnes has some limitations, although he can play physical sometimes. But DeAndre Hunter, it's just they're playing switches. Hell, like Trae Young getting Keegan switched on him a couple of times. You're not going to win that switch a lot of times. There was one where I thought the Kings played some great help defense in that situation. Lyles came over, they got big, and Trae had a bad pass. There was another time where Trae hit a step back 3 on Keegan. That was good defense, but that's just a mismatch. So those are tough situations for sure. Do you want to hear from Domantas Sabonis?
I do.
Let's hear what Domantas Sabonis had to say after this Kings loss. James Ham over at the Kings Beat got this post game with Domantas Sabonis.
It sucks, I feel like we should have put ourselves in a better position throughout the game, so it didn't have to come down to that.
Did you see a turning point in that game for you guys?
We made that late run, which got us up. I thought we pretty much had the game there, and then we just couldn't finish. Today was one of those days we couldn't finish.
Malik kind of alluded to maybe got a little comfortable after making that run. Would you kind of agree with that?
Maybe they made that 3-point play, and then I missed the free throws, and then again more free throws for them, so just kind of like flip flopped at the end.
Where are you at physically? It looked like even in this game you got kicked down below, you got slapped in the face, you got kneed in the face, elbowed in the face.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to compete every night. That's just part of the game.
Are you surprised that you've been able to hold up with your hand the way that it is, and even like in back-to-backs? I think you've played almost 80 minutes the last 2 nights.
Training staff's doing a great job, keeping me ready. We're here getting work on it, and I'm never gonna say no to being on the court.
I know those free throws might haunt a little bit. I mean, you guys were perfect at the line prior to that. Just how much is that one to shake off?
Yeah, it's tough. I was confident, and then they just didn't go in on those 2 important ones, which definitely sucks.
What do you feel is like a good learning point from this game? I mean, obviously all these are going down to the wire.
In my mind, they shouldn't be going down to the wire. There's a lot of moments in the game where we can make that lead to 8-10 points and get a nice, normal, comfy win, but that's where we got to grow as a team and not be sloppy or be lazy, and execute.
Do you feel like these close wins are helping?
Of course, they're definitely helping because they're putting us in these situations where we learn, when we won last night, we learned. Today we lost. We're learning again, but we shouldn't have to be in a lot of these situations.
It also seemed like, it's part of the process that, when guys get in these situations, just move on from it and start concentrating on the next game, which you got to make on Saturday.
Yeah, of course. We're definitely going to watch a film and learn from it, It just hurts that we lost it, at home. We're meant to protect home court.
Yeah, I think he nailed it. Did he just do our podcast for us?
I think he just did. The get comfy, build that cushion so then you're not putting yourself in these situations.
Morgan, I felt the same way even last night against the Jazz, where you're like,
yep,
this shouldn't really be a game. And they end up winning the game. So you move on. And tonight, it's like, man, if you just made some gimmies early, you felt like you could expand this a little bit, even with some of the defensive breakdowns. So look, it's all part of the process. I think this team is showing a lot of growth. They're 20-17. I'm not getting too low on this. I know we like to get high and low as Kings fans with every win and loss. You're like, oh, God, why is it all falling apart? I think this team has shown enough bounce back that you go, yeah, they'll be fine. Like now you just got to clean it up and get a couple of days off. It was 3rd game in 4 nights. And now you get ready for the Lakers.
You know how many people came up to me at this game and was like, you were amped last night. You were excited last night. And there was
I had that tonight, actually. I was a little too amped tonight.
But a lot of people were saying that. And it's funny because the joy I felt last night and then the it wasn't even disappointment. It was such a it was because it ultimately happened so quickly, right? In the turn of events, the Kings right there at the end of the game lose in that fashion, and then boom, the lights go on and you're going live and have to break down this game.
Yeah.
And I'm an emotional person.
I was hosting pre and post on the radio side tonight, and I was just like, when Jason Ross, who filled in for G-Man tonight, G-Man had the sore throat, I'm like, I don't really want to do this right now. I need 20 minutes to cool down a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
I felt like a player. No, trust me, I feel the same way. Yeah, it definitely hurt tonight. I see a couple people mentioning this. Someone was mentioning, hey, maybe they should play Alex Len more. Yeah, that's the tough part, right? They did give Rashawn a chance tonight. Didn't really work out, so they end up playing Trey Lyles at the small ball 5. But we do concentrate on the back of 5, which is still an issue, but it's also the length at the 4 spot. Because when you're in a situation where the big's coming out in the pick and roll, where's the back line, and you've got guards or undersized guys trying to defend longer, more athletic players.
Yeah.
That's tough. You need a guy who's a little longer. And I think that's one reason where someone in the chat was mentioning KZ Okpala. So Okpala last night plays like 7 minutes, but played 4.5 in the 4th quarter. He had, in those 7 minutes, I believe he had 4 fouls. But he also did a nice job late in the game dealing with Clarkson, right? He made life tough on Jordan Clarkson. He's long, probably plays a little too physical at times. He's definitely a foul-happy guy. Tonight, he doesn't play. He won a defensive player of the game, like, chain last night in Salt Lake City, and he didn't play tonight. And so, that's one where even if you're like, hey, we don't know that we could play him big-time minutes, well, you can't play him more than a few minutes. You can't give him the same 7 minutes. I mean, I just think if you're rewarding a guy for doing well defensively when you're not a great defensive team, and then he doesn't play the next night on a second night of a back-to-back, that's a little disappointing. And I'd also say, like, I think you need to lean on your bench more. They put Terrence Davis in there. I'm like, oh, good. You could get TD some minutes. Very short leash, man. 4 minutes. Rashawn played just under 5 minutes. The other guys off the bench, Davion with 24. Monk played 20. I thought Monk looked better tonight. Took a couple of questionable shots, but I thought he did a good job setting up his teammates. He had 5 assists along with 9 points, and then Lyles played just under 14.
Yeah, sometimes I wish
they would have gotten Jeremy Grant.
Correct. But I also wish we were allowed to watch practices and maybe see what they're seeing.
Yeah.
I'm curious if it's something that Chimezie Metu isn't disciplined with at practice. Like, for example, you and I, when we were going to some of the Stockton Kings practices to start the season, we got to really see which players in certain drills weren't good at connecting with a certain movement or the discipline to be in a certain spot. When you get to see those things, you get to understand a little bit more of like, oh, well, he doesn't trust him because of that. And he doesn't trust this person because in practice, he's always the one to be trigger happy. And so
sure. I guess my point though is I hear exactly, I completely agree. But with KZ Okpala,
that's what I'm not even
that
saying.
one doesn't make sense for tonight, right? Based on last night.
I was more talking about TD, but yes. Yeah.
No, you're right. There's things we don't get to see, and
that's all.
Just don't know. Kevin Huerter talked about the loss. He had a nice game against his former team.
Both teams have felt like this was a game there was going to be a lot of possessions. The pace that this game was played at, it felt like both teams just kept going on mini runs, and the other team would respond. And so, even we went up 4 there was, I think, a minute 11, minute 6 left on the clock, and you knew the game wasn't over. There was still a lot of game left to be played. So, I'm sure if the game was another 2 to 3 minutes, we could have hit them with another run. It was just, they made the final punch.
Yeah, they did. Now let's see what Davion Mitchell had to say. Has some silver linings in tonight's loss?
I think it's good for us. Even though we lost tonight, I think we're learning how to win, doing winning plays and things like that you see in Utah and even the Denver game, just making those winning plays. I think it slipped tonight, like I said. We got to protect the paint more. Every game, we just got to keep protecting the paint. I think the last game against Memphis, they ended up scoring a lot of points in the paint. So if we just keep emphasizing and protecting that, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I still think there's only so much you can do.
I also like the mindset too of these guys of like, but you got to just learn from what this type of loss, right? Like being in that situation and not winning, you also get to really learn from those mistakes at the end of a game in that situation. And then also same thing with the win last night, what worked so well to pull out a W at the end of that.
I know someone in the chat, Felix, was mentioning that Fox never talks after the Kings lose. Here's De'Aaron Fox after the Kings lost to the Hawks.
Yeah, I just rolled my ankle, but I'm fine. I wear the braces for a reason, so I'm good.
Been pretty helpful, right? Those the same Curry ones?
Yeah. I think I wear them. I know Trey wears them. Steph. I've seen a couple of the guys around me that wears them.
You lost one in the first. Was it the first quarter?
My shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just popped off.
Yeah. It looks like over the last couple of games, you've got your bounce back. Do you feel that you're going in and empowering through and getting some dunks that maybe we haven't seen in a little while?
Just trying to get in there and finish. There's going to be contact, but at the end of the day, regardless if they're calling a foul or not, I'm trying to. We've talked about it before. I'm trying to finish.
How much are you learning from these tight games late in the contest?
It's obviously it's extremely tough to win in this league, and I feel like a majority of teams' games are going to be close. So just being in that type of environment, whether it's home or away, knowing what plays you want to call down the stretch, if something's working, continue to go to it. And then just on the other end, you're trying to get stops. You want to be able to defend without fouling. And I think we put them on the line, too much tonight down the stretch.
What did you just make of the way that closed out for you guys?
I mean, we could be a lot better. Obviously, I think we had a 4-point lead with, a minute 30 left or whatever it was. So we have to be better down the stretch. And like I said, we put them on the line far too much down the stretch in that fourth.
I just want to get your thoughts on, when you DeMontis a couple weeks called these teams dangerous teams. These teams is on these losing streaks, and you guys, come up against. Just what's your thoughts on that? Do you feel the intensity there, or is it just a regular game?
Anybody can beat anybody in this league, and when the team is losing like that, they're going to come in a place hungry. They want to be able to get a win and get off that losing streak. And I mean, that team is not a bad team. They have two guys who are all stars. John Collins was good. Bogey was really good. I mean, they have a good team. Obviously, it's not clicking, but like I said, you can lose to any team on any given night in this league.
Yep, that's exactly right, especially in today's league. So if you're the Kings, you bounce back, you dust yourself off, you get ready for the Lakers come up. In fact, the Lakers tonight at home, no LeBron James. He missed a game with a non-COVID illness.
Yeah.
They beat Miami.
Obviously, no Anthony Davis.
No Anthony Davis. They beat Miami tonight.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Last night, Oklahoma City puts 150 on Boston. You know what they did tonight?
What?
Lost to Orlando.
Oh, my God.
They did that, by the way, without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night.
The NBA, baby.
It's good luck predicting this.
And so the Lakers, too, are going to be playing the Hawks on Friday, and then the Sacramento Kings on Saturday. They're playing another team. Well...
Lakers play Friday night against the Hawks and come to Sacramento on Saturday. And I imagine LeBron's going to be back by at least Saturday. I mean, I'd be shocked if he wasn't. He's been on a tear. The guy turns 38 and he goes, let me just have back-to-back 43-plus point games. So it's always a dangerous game. That's the thing with like LeBron. I don't care if his teams are not good and, they're 12th in the West right now. It's LeBron. He can win a game on his own. And we've seen it all the time, and he plays well against the Kings. I didn't realize I've not been paying attention to Discord. We got people in the waiting room.
Oh, let's go.
Let's check in with some people. What's up? Let's go first. FDM. Yeah, you know what? I don't trust FDM. Right? I'm going to be really honest.
Okay.
I don't trust FDM.
Why?
I'm going to. Because FDM, I've never seen in our Discord before, and I feel like F means like F Deuce and Mo 2933. Am I right on that, FDM? If I'm right, you have to admit it. If you're calling the truth, you have to admit it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What does FDM mean?
Favor Davion Mitchell.
You're such a liar.
There's no reason to lie about that.
Okay, what's up, man?
To be honest, this is a Javier from Wagner. We talked at the game last time.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you were drunk at the game that night. Yeah.
Hey, I was respectful. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you weren't, but yeah.
At the game, I wasn't.
Oh, no.
You know what? Actually, you know what we're not doing? We booted you from the server because of how you've acted before, and then you're going to call check in, and you're going under a different name.
You get one point. Get 1 point.
Give him a chance.
Get 1 point, and then we're going to get to the next caller. What you got?
Oh, y'all told me to call in last time I seen y'all.
No, we didn't. But what you got? Give us one thing, and then we're gonna get to the next caller. What you got?
I swear. I mean, I'm not.
All good. What you got? What you got, Javier? Just give me your one thing. What you got about tonight's game?
I just feel like from the point that they've made prevalent with the play that they've displayed, I'm seeing if this is the the cap that that they've maxed out. If they're 4 games, this is 7th time they've tried to go and achieve the 5-game above 500 threshold, and this is the 7th time that they haven't eclipsed that. So it's like, it's just a peak of what they can do with this roster. Like, it's a matter, do you want to roll the dice and ruin continuity with the current roster that's presumably on the court now, or do you want to like roll the dice and you see Holmes and a few other guys off the bench that just Terrence Davis is like a show of himself. I mean, do you want to roll the dice and try to shake things up with the bench off? People coming on the floor for your starters, your backup center, your backup shooting guard, backup small forward, even a starting small forward, or you want to just keep the status quo? Because, I feel like a lot of things right now are just unsettling. Not so much in the start lineup, but you see when when Sabonis off the court and you have to do the Rashawn Holmes substitution. The flow just seems
Dude,
so
you're
off.
right. You're right. And Javier, I want to
Appreciate
get
you,
some other
Javier.
people. I appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
cool tonight.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank
And
you. And
you have a good night, all right?
You too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
all right, yeah.
We've had a mixed history with him, so I.
Oh,
that's
no,
all right,
all
just to
good.
be
I'm
honest.
glad-
But
I'm glad
no,
they
I
got the
appreciate
call.
him checking in. By the way, I think I was right on FDM. I'm just gonna be honest. I think I was right. I called that. I called that. Yeah, I mean, have they capped out because they haven't gone to that 5-game over 500 mark? I don't think so yet. I mean, they're gonna have some chances, I think, on this homestand to maybe get to that point again. Especially with the teams their play coming up. But yeah, when it comes to improving the roster, I mean, it is a fine line of like, all right, how do you tweak this without messing with chemistry? But you also have to acknowledge that you have to also have trust what you've built too, and trust that your coaches and the players that you have, your core guys, can keep everything together. This is not like a young team. Trades do impact every team. I think so many Kings fans point back to the 18-19 season when they traded Shumpert and how that rattled the team. It did rattle the team. That was also a 19-year-old De'Aaron Fox, right? Like a young Justin Jackson. Like there was just a lot of things that happened at that trade deadline
For sure.
that impacted that locker room. And then you're adding Harrison Barnes to the mix. I think this team could handle that. Like these guys have been around the league a little bit now. They've seen the changes. Fox isn't that second-year guy anymore. Like he's seen some shit now. I think they can handle a trade to improve the roster.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's like, obviously it's never easy. Like with the chemistry that they build with these guys, they go to battle out there with these guys through all the practices, the journeys together. It's all difficult, but that's part of the sport. That's part of the business. And when you do get to a point where you've built something and that trust, respect, and understanding is even there and the connections there with the front office, then those things are going to get easier and easier. And especially if it means making the team better. So
make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you're in chat. Appreciate it. Let's hit the thumbs up. Let's get that to 100. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. Let's get it going. Let's go next and check in with our old buddy. What's up, Nick?
What's up, dudes?
What's up? Morgan's here too. You're not gonna say hi to Morgan?
Hi, Morgan.
Hi, Nick.
Hey.
It was great seeing you tonight. Can you make sure to take your hand off your microphone, please?
Yes.
Go ahead.
How are you doing today?
Okay, it just sounds like you're not talking the phone. You also have stuff all
What
over your
did you
mouth.
eat?
Are you eating donuts? You're eating powdered donuts, aren't you?
No, that looks like cottage cheese.
Ew, no.
What'd you eat?
No, it was my dinner.
What'd you eat?
Some chicken and green beans.
Okay, you missed your mouth. You didn't eat anything. Did you just put it all over your face? Did you rub it on your face?
Gets him every time, Deuce. There you go, Nick.
Nick,
Yeah, but
be honest. Have you ever heard of a napkin or a paper towel?
they ain't got no paper towels here at the apartment. It's
Okay.
like
Okay, we can't hear you
Nick,
well,
why
man.
do you
I don't
sound
know-
so bad?
there's we lost tonight, and we should have won this game.
Yeah, we should have won this game. Did you have any fun at the game tonight?
I did, and I saw Kenny.
You did see Kenny. Did you have fun with the crowd got really loud though, huh?
Yeah, but the referees got us tonight.
Ooh.
You're blaming the refs tonight?
Yeah, they stink.
Oh.
Dude, I felt so bad when Sabonis got hit in the balls, and I think he did hit Okongwu in the face on that, but was that before the shot?
I don't know.
All I know is talk about painful. He's on the ground because he gets hit in the balls, and Scott Moko's foul on number 10, Domantas Sabonis. I'm like, oh no, that's the worst. That sucks.
And I did see that Chino Moneki couldn't play tonight with the Kings, so he's in Stockton. Because he's playing on Stockton
Yeah, and hey, by the way, Stockton Kings won in Salt Lake City tonight. Now 4-0 in the regular season as they get ready to come back home Friday night with Deuce and Mo on the call.
Let's go.
All right, Nick, what are your thoughts going into the Lakers game?
Well, we got to play. Deuce, you won't be there, Deuce, right?
Yeah.
You won't be.
I will be there.
He'll be there.
No, Saturday. Will you be in Stockton Saturday?
No, Friday.
Stockton plays Friday, Nick. I'm asking you a question. Don't worry about my schedule. I'll be at Kings Lakers. What do you think about the Lakers game?
Well, what do you think about the Lakers game?
What Kings Lakers on Saturday?
I think they're gonna win that game.
All right. That's what we like to hear, Nick.
All right.
Why not? Why not like to be on Saturday?
Why not?
All right. Sleep dreams, okay?
Sleep dreams, and also the Queta. Number 88.
Yeah.
He didn't play with us, so he's on. But it was nice to see Queta on the Sacramento Kings. It was nice to see him.
Yeah. All right. Sleep dreams. Go to bed.
Sleep dreams.
Sleep dreams. We don't have paper towels here.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. I mean, you probably have a towel.
A like dish towel. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, just
reusable,
something, right? Or
yeah.
like a bathroom towel.
I would honestly, at that point, I'd probably use my shirt.
Yeah.
Be like, whatever.
All right. I think we have a group. I think we're just gonna do this. Why do I feel like all of the people I just brought into the room are 12 to 13 years old? Jamie.
Jamie, you're supposed to be our guy. Why aren't you talking?
Jace.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can I just one thing real fast? Are you guys all friends here? Is Andrew with you?
Yeah,
I'm here.
I knew it.
Yes.
Hi.
So Jamie, you're bringing friends who don't watch the Kings or aren't Kings fans.
Oh,
No.
Jace was watching the game. He was just watching the highlights.
Okay. Well, Jace, what did you like about the highlights? Jace, what did you like about the highlights?
Oh my goodness.
God damn it, Jace. I can't. No. Come on.
I'm out.
You're out.
I'm out on them tonight.
What the hell? Jamie, you got to prep your friends.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go. When we go
Like,
to
that's on you, Jamie.
I just love, though, it is really funny that, they watch the game and go, hey, let's all hop in the Do Some Mo Discord. Let's all talk to them. They weren't anticipating we'd bring them all at once.
How did you know each and every person that was on there without even knowing?
Can I be honest? I feel like I've got some weird powers tonight because I called the weirdness.
Yeah, you did.
And look, I know some people in the chat were asking about like Javi, blah, blah, blah. Come on, give him a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we had a situation one of the times he was on a long time ago. It got heated. I didn't like the vibes.
All
and
good.
then so we moved on. So he came back and he was good tonight. So it's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal. But
All good.
hey, look, I'm going to be on edge a little bit.
Yeah, you just want to make sure to protect joy bubbles,
Yeah.
right? Like tonight, our joy bubbles were popped a little bit. And it's just not fun when that starts deflating.
Hey, 13-year-olds, Andrew, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Man? What's going on, man?
So I just joined the call because I saw part of the game, but I think it all went down because of the second quarter, in my opinion.
Ooh, what didn't you like about the second quarter?
I mean, the defense wasn't the best, and that's the reason why. If the Kings tied up in the second quarter, like all the other quarters, it would have been a tie game, easy.
All right.
I appreciate that, Andrew. Thank you.
Do you really?
I do.
You
No,
really?
I totally appreciate him trying to like break down what he didn't like.
Let's check in with Heath. Heath. What's up, Heath?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Pleasure to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
It's,
good to hear from you, man. Always in our Discord. So
I believe so.
is this your first? This is your first time?
Yeah,
That's
literally.
Wow, happy first time.
Yeah, I know. It's breaking the cherry for all of us. Thank you so much.
So what'd you think of tonight's game?
Well, I think there's a lot of thoughts to be had. Losses are harder than wins, obviously. What I go back to think about is how pivotal Sabonis and Barnes are for the team in like the long run, and how they always take it into the basket. They get the tough hoops, they get the tough fouls, and I think they're very underrated for that aspect. So
yeah, HB's been so good at getting to the line, especially when the Kings need a basket. I think the challenge for Sacramento is finding ways to tweak this roster and improve it to get to the next level. You only have so many assets to move to, so that's what makes it challenging. And hey, that's why Monty McNair's in charge. You got to figure that stuff out. It's tough. I gotta be honest. The more I look at the West, the more you go, it's wide open. I was talking about this last night after you dropped out of Night Chat.
I listened,
dude. I mean,
great breakdown, by the way, of the West when I was listening.
Every team has flaws.
Yeah.
Every team in the West has flaws. Like, I don't know that you could say there's a legit front runner. I think personally, if I were to pick one who I like the most in the West, I'm probably going to give the edge to Memphis. And they still have to prove it, but they've had injury history with some of their guys, with Bane, the toe still not right, but they've got depth. Jaren Jackson's been a guy that's been injured in the past. But I'd still give them the edge, especially like Jaws just
in the
playing at a great
culture
level.
that they've built.
Yeah, it's a real thing
An
that they've built.
identity.
Denver, I'm like, Jokic is great, but I don't really trust the whole Murray
Everyone's
Porter
broken
thing.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, broken
The
or
Clippers,
have been broken. Yeah.
I can't. I said this weeks ago. I can't hear about the Clippers until their guys play more than like 2 games in a row together.
Totally
Now
fair.
Paul George is banged up again.
Same with Phoenix too, right?
Phoenix has lost 4 in a row now. They lost tonight to Cleveland.
But the one that I heard Deuce also bring up last night too, Heath, was the Pelicans, and talking about obviously CJ McCollum and what he's capable of doing. But then you got Zion, with another little nick up.
Well, and that one, it's a hamstring. He's being reevaluated in 3 weeks. So they're still without Ingram. It's just Dallas. Luka's been great, but what's around him? Christian Wood's been great in the starting lineup. Now they put him in there, but how long is that sustainable? There's questions galore. And I guess my point is those questions are a good thing for the Kings because it allows them to go, okay, we have a chance to maybe push this a little further than we thought we maybe could have this year. I think so many people are talking about playing. Oh, now it's like, oh, maybe they have a chance at the playoffs. But tweaks do have to be made if you want to get to the next level.
Absolutely.
But I think it's attainable. I just don't know how they get there without giving out a PKs.
The next 4 games are going to say a lot, I think.
Ooh. Do you think like more from individuals or just like from what they accomplish as a team?
From what they accomplish as a team. Because I think the record is going to even out over the next month, if you'll say that. And we'll see.
Yeah, I think I look at them. I think you're right on this with the homestand because this should be a good homestand if you're a good team. Like this should be a chance for you to build on this a little bit. And if you're not able to do it, I think it's going to be because some of the shortcomings you see with this roster get exposed a little bit.
Yeah.
Orlando's one of those teams you go, God, I know they're not that good, but Banchero's a stud. Franz Wagner's good. They're long.
Dude,
matchup
and that's
problems.
you guys, that's what's making the NBA so fun in a lot of ways. But when you have a team like the Kings and you root for this team and you want to see them take their next step, it is scary because you never know what you're going to get from these other guys. But you were mentioning Harrison Barnes before we got into this conversation about the Western Conference. And I'm sure teams come in here and are feeling the same way at times. Like you don't know at times what you're going to get from Harrison Barnes, except you do know that he's going to be this big, strong man for the most part, battling for rebounds and finding ways to score in the paint.
I just think Harrison Barnes is so clutch. You know what I mean? I'm sorry you kind of cut off
you're fine.
on my feed, but yeah, who else other than Sabonis drives it into the lane and takes those easy shots,
Yeah, well, Sabonis' footwork. Sabonis,
we need that so much, and that veteran presence, and I just don't think that we really articulated enough as far as the impact of the team.
Yeah, no, he's been fantastic. Well, Heath, thanks for checking in, man. Good first call, dude. All right, see you, Heath.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Heath.
He doesn't say bye.
I know. What the hell?
All right, bye.
What the hell?
What other thoughts do you have after this one with the Kings having a couple days off before the Lakers come to town?
Yeah, I like that. I'm glad that they get to, have some fresh legs going up against the Lakers. But I think like Heath was saying, I think like a lot of other people are saying, this homestand is going to be telling. And I think it's one of those things where we keep wanting to identify this team as a good basketball team, but this is what is going to help them push people to identify them as that. Like, yeah, they're a good team because they're beating these teams that they're supposed to be beating on their home floor.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here tonight. Make sure to spread the word about the podcast. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. You guys are the best. We'll be back live again Saturday. Maybe we'll have some content that comes out before then. That's where you got to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/@DeuceandMo if you're listening to the audio version of this. We love you guys so much, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll see you Saturday. Bye.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.